York State Representative Michael Solages is joining us here from NCSL. So tell us, what are your takeaways so far here?
Well, first, we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of NCSL, so it's exciting to celebrate 50 years of bipartisanship and civility and research. So it's really exciting that we're here, doing what we do best, which is galvanize and work together as state legislators to improve our own state. So it's exciting.
It is exciting. There are a big wide range of issues that are in the speaking engagements and the booths and everything. Are there any that stand out to you that you've taken away so far?
Well, I had a wonderful experience with NCSL today by visiting Churchill Downs.
Nice.
Yeah, so in my district, I have Belmont Park, which is a horse racing track. And, we always say New York has some of the best racing in the country. But, I do have to acknowledge Kentucky.
We're here
as
to
well.
challenge
that. It's good. So, we went to Churchill Downs. We looked at the backside, and we were able to kind of talk to them about their best practices and how they facilitate racing in their state. And, I want to take that information back and bring it to New York and improve the racing operations there. So it's exciting, Belmont's going through a big redevelopment. The grandstands were turned down. We're going to build a new facility that's going to model Churchill Downs because we're competing. Yes. And so it's going to be exciting. But, just seeing the best practices was quite interesting.
Yeah. What about when it comes to policy, other things that you're learning here from some of the speakers?
Well, it's exciting to talk about the technological revolution that's going on in our communities. We see that AI is taking over, and it's not just about like ChatGPT, but exploring other options of how we can develop AI when it comes to workforce, healthcare. And so I've attended a lot of the panels around technology and seeing how we can improve technology and also implement safeguards so that we're not violating people's privacy or creating implicit bias in some of these algorithms. So it was interesting to kind of come to those panels. And of course, my bread and butter, which is healthcare. Talking about how we can improve healthcare access to individuals, close disparities. And I think lastly, the policy area that was most fascinating to me was the child care space, the conversations around that and how we need to expand care. And it was interesting to see that, I've been going to a lot of summits, from the time I was elected in 2013. And whenever I go to the child care panels, it was primarily women sitting in that room. Now we see a whole host of people, all genders, sitting there trying to solve it within their state. And it's refreshing because we see that this is not just a women's issue, that this is a community issue, it's an economic development issue, and that we need to solve this child care crisis that we have.
The tide is turning.
I know,
on that and so many things.
Exactly, yeah.
Outside of the policy discussions, though, as you mentioned too, this is a place for that collaboration and meeting new people from different places. Have you experienced any of that where you just kind of get to pick the brains of people who do what you do?
Exactly. I've met so many different legislators from different states. I've always said hi to the friends that I've established beforehand, but I got to meet great legislators from places like Mississippi, Minnesota. It was, I like the collaboration that happens and just the opportunity to see what's going on in other states and how they run their legislature. I went to a workshop on parliamentary procedures. And it was interesting to find out that there are 3 other, dynamics of how to run a legislature. And I didn't know that beforehand. So, it's good to hear from other legislators, and you learn every day. Every summit that you come to, you find new things.
What do you think stands out to you about NCSL in particular? As you mentioned, you go to a lot of these type of things.
Yes. I like the bipartisanship. In this world right now, on the federal level, there's a lack of action and a lack of civility. And it's nice to see that in state legislatures and in places like NCSL, we can all come together and have conversations and have it in a way where we're being productive. So it's nice to see other legislators, talk to them. And although we have different kind of political persuasions and thought process, we still can at least hear from them. And that's really cool. I find it really fascinating. And it's nice that we all can come together. I think there's like 5,000 people from all all across the state, from legislative staff to legislators that are here, and it's like amazing to think about that. It's almost hard to wrap your mind around it.
It really is.
Yeah.
And, you know, you mentioned that, and you're not the first person who has mentioned that bipartisanship,
Yes.
and that some of the best ideas might come from a different party.
Oh,
and
yes. And don't keep the secret. Shh. Some of the best bills come from NCSL, but, you know, don't touch, not in front of the cameras, you know?
Yeah, of
But
course.
it's amazing to see that, you know, a lot of great ideas come out and we spread it across our states.
Is there anything particular you're still looking forward to here at the summit?
Oh, well, a lot of like workshops, collaborations, you know, going to Churchill Downs to actually have a celebration, not just a visit, you know.
Very fun.
Yeah. And, you know, I like the business meeting. You know, NCSL makes a lot of rules that they send to the federal level to advocate for. And so we have a business meeting, you know, that's happening on the last day. And we are able to actually come up with policy initiatives that we all agree on and we vote on and we submit to the federal government. So, you know, NCSL is not just a collaboration body, but it's also a tool that could be used to really advocate for states. Because, you know, sometimes on a federal level, they make these laws, they don't think about the implications that happen. And remember, states are supposed to be where all the power and authority are. So, you know, it's nice to see that NCSL is talking about, you know, climate change, childcare issues, immigration issues, workforce issues, and sending that information on a, you know, to the federal government.
That's where it makes a big difference.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's also nice to see the states voting and the roll call of the states. You know.
Sure.
Yeah. You know, it's amazing. But you know, states are the boiler rooms of democracy, and it's nice to see that in action, and not just in my little silo of New York, but actually on a level where we're all together in all 50 states united.
Sure. It's all happening right here. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you as well.
Appreciate it.
Yes.